Turmeric is one of the most trusted supplements on the planet right now. Millions of people over 60 take it every single day for joint pain, for inflammation, for general health, and for good reason. There's real research behind it. But here's what almost nobody talks about. There are 3 common foods that when you eat them alongside turmeric may quietly cancel out its benefits, or worse, create brand new problems you weren't expecting. Today we're going to go through all 3 of them. The first one is something millions of people actually mix directly into their turmeric every single morning, and they think they're being healthy when they do it. The second one is sitting in most medicine cabinets right now, especially if you're over 60. And the third, that one could be putting real strain on your kidneys without you ever feeling a thing. I'm going to show you exactly what the research says about each one, and then at the end, I'll walk you through the right way to take turmeric so you're actually getting what you're paying for. If you're finding this kind of information useful, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. We put out new videos every week breaking down exactly this kind of thing for people over 60, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's start with the one that caught me off guard the most, golden milk. You've probably seen it everywhere. Turmeric stirred into a warm glass of milk, maybe with a little honey. It looks beautiful, it feels healthy, and it's become one of the most popular ways people take their turmeric. But there's a problem hiding in that glass that most people have no idea about. Cow's milk contains a protein called casein, and research published using fluorescent spectroscopy has shown that casein binds directly to curcumin. That's the active compound in turmeric, the one doing all the heavy lifting. When casein gets hold of curcumin, it essentially traps it. The curcumin gets locked into a complex with the milk protein, and there's real concern among researchers that this binding may reduce how much of it your body can actually use. Now think about that for a second. The most popular way people consume turmeric might be the least effective way to actually absorb it. That warm, comforting golden latte could be working against you. And it's not just the casein. Cow's milk is also high in calcium, and calcium is known to compete for absorption in the gut. So you've got 2 things in that single glass potentially getting in the way. This doesn't mean you need to throw out your turmeric routine, but if milk is your go-to method, you might want to rethink it. Some people switch to coconut milk or almond milk, which don't contain casein and actually provide a small amount of fat that may help with curcumin absorption instead of working against it. That's a simple change that could make a real difference. But the milk issue is only part of the story, because the second combination is one that affects a huge number of seniors, and most doctors never think to mention it. If you're over 60, there's a decent chance you take an iron supplement, or at the very least, you eat iron-fortified cereal in the morning, maybe some spinach, maybe liver once in a while. Iron is important. It carries oxygen in your blood. It keeps your energy up, and a lot of older adults are already running low on it without realizing it. Here's where it gets concerning. Published research has shown that whole turmeric can inhibit iron absorption by anywhere from 20 to 90% depending on the dose. That is not a small number. Curcumin, the active compound, actually binds to iron in the gut, specifically ferric iron, and forms a complex that your body struggles to absorb. It essentially locks up the iron before your intestines ever get a chance to use it. And this isn't just theory. There's a published medical case report of a patient who developed iron deficiency anemia, and after extensive testing, the only cause they could identify was high-dose turmeric supplementation. No other source of blood loss, no other explanation. The turmeric was blocking so much iron that this person became clinically anemic. Now picture the typical morning routine for someone over 60. Wake up, take a turmeric capsule, take an iron supplement, eat a bowl of fortified cereal. Everything lands in the stomach at the same time. The turmeric goes to work binding up the iron before it can be absorbed, and neither one does what it's supposed to. You're spending money on both supplements and potentially getting the full benefit of neither. The fix here is actually straightforward. Separate them. Take your turmeric and your iron at different times of day, at least 3 to 4 hours apart. That way, they're not competing in your gut at the same time. Of course, if you're concerned about your iron levels, talk to your doctor. A simple blood test can tell you exactly where you stand.
And that brings us to the third combination. This is the one that genuinely concerned me when I first read the research, because it involves your kidneys. Most people don't know this, but whole turmeric powder, the kind you buy in the spice aisle, the kind most people scoop into their smoothies or their morning drink, is relatively high in something called soluble oxalates. Oxalates are natural compounds found in a lot of foods, and in small amounts, they're perfectly fine. But when oxalate levels build up in your system, they can bind with calcium in your kidneys and form crystals. Those crystals, those are kidney stones, and anyone who's ever passed one will tell you it's one of the most painful experiences of their life. Here's the thing most people miss. Turmeric powder on its own already contributes a meaningful amount of oxalates, but a lot of people pair their turmeric with other high oxalate foods without even thinking about it. Spinach is one of the biggest sources of oxalates in the average diet. Almonds are another. Beets, rhubarb, certain types of beans, they all add up. If you're making a morning smoothie with turmeric powder, a handful of spinach, and some almond butter, you've just created an oxalate bomb, and your kidneys are the ones paying the price. This matters even more as you get older. About 1 in 10 people will develop a kidney stone at some point in their life, and the risk goes up with age. If you've ever had one before, your chances of getting another one are significantly higher. And if you're loading up on oxalates from multiple sources every single day, you're stacking the odds against yourself. But here's what I found genuinely interesting. Purified curcumin extract, the kind you find in quality supplements, contains very little to almost no oxalates. The oxalates are in the whole turmeric root powder, not in the extracted curcumin itself. So if kidney stones are a concern for you, or if you have a history of them, switching to bulk turmeric powder to a curcumin extract supplement could make a meaningful difference. And make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day, because hydration is one of the simplest ways to help your kidneys flush oxalates before they have a chance to crystallize. So let's come back to where we started. Turmeric is not the villain here. The research on curcumin's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties is real, and for many people over 60, it can be a genuinely useful part of their routine. The problem isn't turmeric. The problem is what you're taking it with. If you want to get the most out of your turmeric, here's what the research actually supports. Take it with a small amount of healthy fat, a drizzle of olive oil, a slice of avocado, even a spoonful of coconut oil. Fat helps curcumin dissolve and absorb. Add a pinch of black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, which has been shown to increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. That's not a typo. Keep your turmeric dose separated from iron supplements by at least 3 to 4 hours. Skip the cow's milk and use a non-dairy alternative if you like making golden drinks. And if kidney stones are any kind of concern, consider using a curcumin extract instead of bulk turmeric powder. Small changes, same supplement, completely different result. Of course, always talk to your doctor before making changes to your supplements or your routine, especially if you're on blood thinners or other medications. Curcumin can interact with those too. The next time you reach for that turmeric, just take a second to think about what else is going into your body at the same time. That one small habit could be the difference between getting real benefits and just going through the motions. If this helped, share it with someone you care about. And I'll see you in the next one.